Hi everyone. In today's session, we will come to know about the somatic embryogenesis as well as synthetic seeds. Let's begin. So before starting the concept, first we have to understand where does this somatic word comes from. Okay? So basically there are two types of cells. We know that they are germ cells as well as the somatic cells, right? So the germ cells, they produce only the gametes and they are only the cells that undergo meiosis as well as the mitosis. And the somatic cells are all the cells except the male cells as well as the female cells. They are nothing but the egg cell as well as the sperm cells. Okay, so the somatic cells, they are all other cells except the egg cell and the sperm cells, and they are the building blocks, and they only divide by the mitosis, and they are in diploid in nature. Okay, so the somatic cells means what? They are all other cells except sperm cell as well as the egg cell, and the process of formation of an embryo is known as the embryogenesis. Okay, so the process of formation of an embryo is termed as the embryogenesis, and this embryogenesis, it starts from the single embryonic cell, that is the zygote. And what is zygote? It is the product of a fusion of an egg cell as well as the sperm cells during the fertilization. Okay, so the embryogenesis, it starts from the single embryonic cell, that is from the zygote. Okay, so the embryos developing from the zygote is termed as the zygotic embryos. Okay, so the embryos which are developing from the zygotes are known as the zygotic embryos, and the embryos which develop from the somatic cells are known as the somatic embryos. Okay, so if the embryo is found in the zygotes, it is termed as the zygotic embryo, and if the embryos are derived from the somatic cells, it can be called as the somatic embryos. Okay, so now we came to know about the germ cells, somatic cells, as well as the embryogenesis and formation of the embryos from the zygote cells, as well as formation of the embryos from the somatic cells. Okay, so now what is somatic embryogenesis? It is the process of inducing embryo formation in the somatic cells is known as the somatic embryogenesis. Okay, so what is somatic embryogenesis? The process of inducing embryo formation in the somatic cells is known as the somatic embryogenesis. And here in this somatic embryogenesis, there is no fertilization. Okay, so it doesn't involve the steps of fertilization. That means there is no sexual fusion of the gametes in the somatic embryogenesis. So to understand this somatic embryogenesis, also we have to come to know what are embryoids and what is embryogenic potential. Okay, so firstly we will come to know about the embryogenic potential. So the capability of the somatic plant cell to produce the embryoids is known as the embryogenic potential. Okay, so embryogenic potential means it is the capability of the somatic plant cell of the cultured to produce the embryoids is known as the embryogenic potential. Okay, and then what are these embryoids? So these embryoids, they are a small and well organized structure which are comparable to the sexual embryos, and these are formed from the dividing process of the genic potential of the somatic cells. Okay, so here the somatic plant cells, they undergo into divisions to form this embryoids. Okay, so they are small structures and well organized structure. They are similarly to the sexual embryos. And now you can define somatic embryogenesis as so the developmental pathway of the numerous well organized small embryoids resembling the zygotic embryos, which are formed from the embryogenic potential of the plant cells, So this suspension culture is known as the somatic embryogenesis. So if you remember this definition, you can write this also. And I suggest which definition is easy for you, you write that. Okay. So the process of inducing the embryo formation in somatic cells is known as the somatic embryogenesis. Next, so if we see, there are two types of somatic embryogenesis. They are direct somatic embryogenesis and indirect somatic embryogenesis. What is this direct somatic embryogenesis means? So in some cultures, the somatic embryogenesis, they are directly formed in the absence of callus formation. Okay, so the somatic embryogenesis which are formed in the absence of the callus formation. And how does this embryos are formed here? Okay, so the embryos are formed due to the pre-embryogenic determined cells. So these pre-embryonic determined cells, they are already programmed for the embryo differentiation. Okay, so in direct somatic embryogenesis, so here the somatic embryogenesis occurs in the absence of the callus formation. And how does this embryos are formed here? So the embryos are formed in the presence of proembryonic gene determined cells. So these cells which are already programmed for the embryo differentiation. So this is the direct somatic embryogenesis. So here the process of the direct somatic embryogenesis, here when we take the explant, okay, consider we have taken the explants. First we have to give the media here. Okay, so which media you will choose? Obviously we will choose the MS media, that is the Murashig and Sug media, that is having highly nutrition and mineral nutrients is very rich here in this media, and it is very suitable and it is easily affordable. Okay, so we have to choose the explant here, and we have to leave the explants for 6 weeks in that media. And then there is a formation of shoot generation, and then there is a formation of shoot elongation. Okay, so we have to choose the explants, we have to leave that explants in the media, and after 6 weeks there is a formation of shoot regeneration. And then after shoot regeneration there is a formation of shoot elongation. Okay, so here we know that there is no formation of the embryos directly, there is a formation of the shoot, and then the elongation of the shoot occurs. Okay, so here there is no formation of the callus directly. We have taken the explant, we have immersed the explant in the MS media, and after 6 weeks there is a formation of the shoot regeneration. Okay, and then shoot elongation occurs. And here for the formation of the shoot and formation of the root, we have to put the growth regulators. Okay, so here when we take the explant, and we have to keep the explant in the media. Okay, so in the media firstly we have to initiate the shoot elongation hormone, and then we have to initiate the root hormone. And here after the shoot elongation we have to leave it for 2 weeks. Okay, so after 2 weeks we have to inject the root hormone for the formation of the root. Okay, so then after induction of the roots, after 4 weeks we will get the plantlets, and then we can plant the plant, or we can directly transfer them into the pods. Okay, so like this direct somatic embryogenesis occurs, and it helps in the production of the new plantlets. Okay, then second one, it is indirect somatic embryogenesis. So what happens in indirect somatic embryogenesis means, here the embryos are developed through the cell directly, that is multiplication of the cell. And here there is a formation of the callus. Okay, so here there is no formation of the callus. Here the somatic embryogenesis, they undergo the process of the callus induction, or with the help of the callus formation. On the callus formation, the somatic embryogenesis are formed. Okay, So the embryos are developed through the cell proliferation. That means cell division or cell multiplication or cell increase, you can say. Okay. So that is callus formation also, you can say. So the embryos are developed through the callus formation, and the cells from which the embryos arise are called as induced embryogenic determined cells. Okay. So the cells which produces the embryos, here it is known as the induced embryonic determined cells. Here, growth regulators with specific culture conditions are required for the initiation of the callus and then redetermination of those cells into the embryo development. So, this is the process of indirect embryogenesis. Okay, so indirect embryogenesis means what? The embryos are formed or they are developed with the help of the callus formation, and the cells from which the embryos arises here. Okay, so the cells in somatic indirect somatic embryogenesis, the cells from which the embryos arise, those cells are known as the IEDC, that is induced embryonic determined cell. Why it is known as induced embryonic determined cell? So it helps in the formation of the embryos, and hence so those cells are known as the induced embryonic determined cells. Okay, so here in indirect somatic embryogenesis, the growth regulators with the specific cultural conditions are required for the initiation of the callus. Okay, so example we can give here, when we take the explants. So in direct somatic genesis, somatic embryogenesis, we kept after 6 weeks after taking the explants. Okay, so here when we take the explants, we have to organize that explant for the formation of the callus. Okay, so we have to first produce the callus culture techniques here on the explants, and for that process, after choosing the explants, we have to sterilize it, and then we have to give the callus cultures for the production of the callus for 3 weeks. Okay, so after 3 weeks there is a formation of the callus, and then after formation of the callus we have to leave it for 3 weeks for the embryo formation. Okay, so here what happens, there is a formation of the callus, and on the callus there is a formation of embryo. Okay, so after 3 weeks, then there is a formation of shoot regeneration. After shoot regeneration, there is a process of shoot elongation, and then after 2 weeks of the shoot elongation, there is a formation of roots, and then after getting the roots, we have to keep it for 4 weeks, and in these 4 weeks we will get the plantlets, and these plantlets are finally transferred directly to the pods. Okay, so this is the process of indirect somatic embryogenesis. So the difference here, in indirect somatic embryogenesis there is a callus induction, and in direct somatic embryogenesis there is no callus induction directly on the leaf explant. By giving suitable media, there is a shoot regeneration and a shoot elongation, then roots, and then you will get the plantlets. Okay, so in indirect somatic embryogenesis, directly taking the leaf plant, we have to set it for callus formation, and then on the callus you will get the embryo is formed here. Okay, then there is shoot regeneration and shoot elongation, then roots are formed, then plantlets we will get, we can transfer it on the pots. So this is the difference between direct and indirect embryogenesis. Okay, and there are three stages of the somatic embryogenesis. They are induction, development, and lastly the maturation. So in first stage, induction means we have to induce few of the hormones, especially it is auxin. Okay, so auxins, particularly 2,4-D, is generally necessary to induce the embryogenesis. So these embryogenesis, they are usually found on the callus. Okay, so this depends on the nature of the explant, so that how much concentration of the auxin we have to put for the production of the embryogenesis. Okay, so it depends upon the nature of the explant. And then development means there is a callus formation on the explant. Okay, and then the auxin medium must be freed here. So in the development process, after formation of the callus, so the this callus formed explant must be freed from the auxin medium, and then the cluster of the cells, they are known as the pre-embryonic mass of cells, and they are having the cytoplasmic cells in them, and they are also called as the pre-embryonic mass cells, that is known as the PEMs. Okay, then in maturation stage, maturation of the embryo occurs here. So the maturation means here the embryo size do not increase in the size. Okay, so the embryos, they do not increase in size because it is accumulated with more proteins and reserve food materials. It can't be increased in the size. Okay, so for this here the growth regulator, that is ABA, is induced to prevent the germination, and it produces normal development of the embryo. Okay, so these are the three stages of somatic embryogenesis. Here to understand, I have placed the slide of diagrammatic representation of the somatic embryogenesis in the culture media. So firstly, we have to choose the explants, and your explants must be leaf petiole, or you can take root segments, or also you can choose the cambium tissues. Okay, and here if you choose the leaf petiole, your this one explant must measure from 0.5 to 1 centimeter. Okay, and if you to take the root segments, and here your explant must be measuring 1 centimeter, and if you take the cambium tissues as the explant, they must be 0.5 centimeters. Okay, so after choosing your explant, so here we will be talking about the indirect somatic embryogenesis. Okay, so after choosing the explant, your explants must be placed individually on a semi-solid MS medium or a Murashig and Sug medium, which contains the sucrose solution. And here the cultures are incubated in the dark for few days for the formation of the callus tissue. Okay, so after 4 weeks of the callus growth, the cell suspension culture must be initiated. So how we will initiate the cell suspension culture? So we have the callus growth now. Okay, so on the explants now we are having the callus. Okay, so we have to take 0.2 gram of the callus tissue, and then we have to place that 0.2 gram of the callus in 250 ml of the conical flask, and this conical flask must be containing 20 to 25 ml of the liquid medium of the same composition of which is used for the callus growth. Okay, so without agar, so here the conical flask must be containing the liquid medium which is used for the composition of the callus growth. Okay, it must be 20 to 25 ml of the liquid medium. Then flask are replaced on a horizontal shaker at 25 degrees Celsius. And in this stage, the presence or absence of the light is not critical in this stage. Okay. Then the cell suspensions are subcultured every 4 weeks by transferring 5 to 65 ml of a fresh liquid medium. Okay, so the cell suspensions are subcultured for every 4 weeks by transferring them into 5 to 65 ml of the fresh liquid medium. Then, to induce more uniform embryo population, the cell suspension is passed through a series. Okay, so to induce somatic embryogenesis, the process of cell suspensions are transferred to 2,4-D free liquid medium. Means, as I said before, in the induction stage, these for the formation of the somatic embryogenesis, they are found on the callus. Okay, So for the callus induction, you have initiated the auxins there, especially 2,4-D, which helps in the formation of the callus. Okay, so after formation of the somatic embryogenesis, we have to transfer the cell suspensions, they are the explants, in the 2,4-D free liquid medium. Means we have to transfer the explants in auxin free medium. Okay, so then for the normal embryo development and to inhibit the germination, especially the root elongation, here 0.1 to 1 micrometer, that is ABA hormone, can be added to the culture media. Okay, so the cultures are then incubated in the dark. Okay, so before that, after freeing your explants from the auxins, it can be transferred to the ms media, also for the devoid of the 2,4-D auxins. Okay, also you can directly free it from the liquid medium which is containing the 2,4-D auxins. Okay, so then these cultures are incubated in the dark, and after 3 to 4 weeks, the culture would contain numerous embryos in different stages of the development. And then the somatic embryos can be placed on the agar medium, which is not having the 2,4-D for the plant development. Okay, so then these plantlets are finally transferred to the pots, or they are vermiculate for the subsequent development. So by this, after forming the somatic embryos, here you can directly place on the agar medium for the formation of the plantlets, and then after forming the plantlets, you can directly transfer to the pots. So this is the steps which is involved in the formation of the somatic embryogenesis, and then which helps in the formation of the plantlets. And what are the applications of the somatic embryogenesis? So firstly, the first application we will see here, the important one, that is a large scale propagation compared to the zygotic embryos. So here it is applied, and then more useful than the organogenesis. Okay, so it is more useful than the organogenesis, and useful for the mutagenic studies and mutant productions. It is also useful for the genetic manipulation technique, and then useful for the pathogen free plant production, and a good source of the protoplast culture is formed by the somatic embryogenesis. It also helps in conservation of the genetic resources. So these are some of the applications of the somatic embryogenesis. If we see the advantages and disadvantages, so applications are somewhat relatable to the advantages, and then here the advantages, it is observable, and here its various culture conditions can be controlled. Okay, lack of material is not limiting factor for the experimentation. Lack of material means we can say as an example, if we take the bad explant or choose the bad explant. Okay, so here it depends upon what explant you choose, and if it is bad, also by giving the suitable medium, or giving the callus inductions, and then by giving hormones for a minimum concentration, how much the explant need. So it depends upon how the suitable medium is given. Even if it is bad, it is not a limiting factor here. Okay, then it also helps in a high propagation rate, and then somoclonal variations, then germplasm conservation. It's a labor saving, so we will not require much people for the production of the plantlets. Okay, then elimination of the disease and virus free plants can be obtained from the somatic embryogenesis, as it is obtained from the somatic cells. Then disadvantages, you can see here, it is confined to few species. Other disadvantage is that the somatic embryos show very poor germination because of their physiological and biochemical immaturity. So as we discussed the stage of maturation, the embryos, they do not increase in size because of they accumulate or they contain high proteins and more reserved food materials, so they do not increase in the size. So it depends upon the induction of the ABA, that is the growth regulator. It helps in the prevention of the germination and it promotes the normal development of the embryo. So here, if by giving the concentration of the induction of ABA hormone, if it varies, here the germination here it becomes very poor. Okay, so then the major limitation in commercial exploitation and the mass propagation of the somatic embryogenesis is the instability of the cultured cells in long term cultures. Okay, so it is the disadvantage of the somatic embryogenesis. And here you came to know about the advantages and disadvantages of the somatic embryogenesis. And now, if we proceed to the next topic, that is artificial seeds, that is also known as the synthetic seeds. Okay, so nowadays the artificial seed technology is one of the most important tool to the breeders and the scientists of the plant tissue culture. It has offered powerful advantages for the large scale mass propagation of the plant species, and in general, the synthetic seeds are defined as the artificially encapsulated somatic embryos or shoot tips or the axillary buds or any other meristematic tissues used for the sowing as the seeds, and which possesses the ability to convert into the whole plant under in vitro conditions. And here, for the production of artificial seed, we have to select the somatic embryos for the best results. And also you can choose this one, shoot birds, axillary birds and shoot tips, or the cell aggregates which have meristematic cells also. Okay, so which have capacity to grow the new plant, or which have capacity to produce the new plant in them. So for the best result we have to choose the somatic embryos, as the somatic embryos they resemble the zygotic embryos. Okay, so we came to know in this session only how the somatic embryos are formed. So in the indirect somatic embryogenesis, we came to know the somatic embryos are formed on the callus. Okay, and then in the direct somatic embryogenesis, we came to know that the somatic embryos are formed on the explant itself. Okay, so for choosing the embryoids, here the somatic embryos are also having few shapes in them. So there are spherical, oval, heart shaped, turquoise shape. Okay, so for the best result, the heart shaped somatic embryos are chosen for the synthetic seed preparation. Okay, so after choosing the heart shaped or turquoise shaped this one somatic embryo, so here you have to encapsulate that seed, that somatic embryo, with the help of the this one CaCl2, and here you have to dip this somatic embryo in various concentration of the CaCl2, like 0.3 m or 0.5 m. We have to dip it for many times for the formation of the endosperm. Okay, then lastly we have to dip it for more concentration of the CaCl2 to form the artificial seed, that is seed coat. Okay, so then we can cool it for in the refrigerator, and at suitable conditions or the favorable this one conditions, we can plant it on the pots. So now you can define the artificial seed as it is the encapsulation of the somatic embryos, shoot birds, or the aggregates of the cells of any tissue which has the ability to form the new plant under the in vitro conditions, and it is also referred as the synthetic seed. Then there are two types of the artificial seeds or the synthetic seeds. They are desiccated artificial seeds and hydrated artificial seeds. Desiccated means, as the name says, it is the removal of the moisture from something. And hydrated means, we all know what is it. So desiccated artificial seeds, here this involves the encapsulation of multiple somatic embryos followed by desiccation process. Desiccation means removal of the moisture from something. Okay, so here this involves the encapsulation of multiple embryos, that is somatic embryos, by following the desiccation process. Then the encapsulating materials used in this case is polyoxyethylene, that is also known as poloxy. This material doesn't allow for the growth of microorganisms, and it is non-toxic to the embryos. So the material for encapsulating in the process of desiccated synthetic seed, that is we use here polyoxyethylene. Okay, that is also known as poloxy. Then hydrated synthetic seeds means this involves the encapsulation of a single somatic embryos in the hydrogel capsules. Okay, so the difference between these two desiccated and hydrated artificial seeds is that in desiccated artificial seeds, the encapsulation is for the multiple somatic embryos, and the encapsulation is done by using polyoxyethylene. And in hydrated artificial seeds, the encapsulation is only for the single somatic embryos, and the material used for the encapsulation is hydrogel capsules. And this hydrated artificial seeds, it is used for those plants which are sensitive for the desiccation, the plants which are very sensitive for the removal of the moistures. Okay, so such plants we can use in the for the production of the synthetic seed in the technique of hydrated synthetic seeds. Okay, so of these two types of the synthetic seeds, the desiccated synthetic seeds have greater potential to form the synthetic seeds and are closer to the true seeds. Okay, so then here you can see there are several steps which are involved in the artificial seeds. The first stage is that establishment of the callus culture. So firstly, for the production of the synthetic seeds, as we need the embryo, somatic embryo. Okay, for the formation of somatic embryo, first we have to initiate the callus culture technique here. Okay, for the callus production we have to undergo the callus culture productions, or we have to undergo the callus culture steps here. Okay, to form the callus. So firstly, the first step for the artificial seed is that establishment of the callus culture. Okay, firstly we will grow on the explants, we will grow the callus. Okay, so then the second step, it is the induction of the somatic embryogenesis in the culture. So how you will induct the initiate the somatic embryogenesis on the culture media. So obviously after the formation of the callus, here you can see after the formation of the callus there is a formation of the somatic embryos on the callus. Okay, so it may be in different shapes, that is a mass of cells you can see here, that is nothing but callus. And then on the callus you will see the heart shaped or terpenoid shaped somatic embryos. Okay, so you have to take this developmental stage of the somatic embryo in the form of heart shaped somatic embryo. Then you have, after the maturation of the somatic embryo, that is the third stage. Maturation of the somatic embryo means what? The completion of the embryo development through some stages. So the heart shaped or terpoid shaped embryo, it is the complete stage of the developed embryo. Okay, so that's why we will choose the heart shaped embryo here for the production of the synthetic seed, as it is completed in all stages. and the initially the embryo develops the globular shaped. Okay, so the first stage of the embryo here, the stomatic embryo, it forms the globular shaped, and then it forms the heart shaped stage, and finally the shaped stage. Okay, so this is also known as the torpedo stage. So the final stage of the embryo attains the maturity, and it develops the opposite poles of the shoot and root development. So here there is a formation of the shoot, and opposite to this there is a formation of the root development here. Okay, so after the maturation of the somatic embryos, we have to take and we have to encapsulate the somatic embryos. So for the encapsulation, as I said in previously, we have to choose the requirements that are this one, what sodium alginate, and then we have to choose the CaCl2. Then we will require the MS media. Okay, so firstly example I will put here. So consider we have taken the seeds, any other seeds. So firstly we have to weigh the sodium alginate for 4 to 5 grams, and then we have to mix this sodium alginate powder, or we have to dissolve it in the this one 100 ml of the MS media. Okay, by mixing the sodium alginate into the MS media, we will get the slurry of the sodium alginate. Okay, so it will become like a gel like structure. Then this slurry we have to allow for it cooling for the 1 or 2 hours for the cooling process, and then we have to encapsulate the somatic embryos with the help of the pet this one micropipette. Okay, so then after encapsulation of the sodium alginate on the seeds, these seeds are transferred for the CaCl2 Petri plates, which are having a concentration of 0.3 m, and then after for number times we have to dip the sodium this one sorry we have to dip the somatic embryos in the 0.5 m of the CaCl2 for many times. Okay, so as we dip, we will get the endosperm here. We will get many coats of the CaCl2. Okay, so this is very rich in the nutrient media as we choose the MS media. Okay, so firstly what we will do, we have to select the this one artificial seed. We have to choose the embryo here. Okay, so then what we will do, we have to prepare the sodium alginate slurry. Okay, how we will prepare the sodium alginate slurry? By mixing the sodium alginate into the MS media, 100 ml of the MS media. Then by the constant stirring, we will get the sodium alginate slurry, and we will allow it for the cooling. And then what we have to do, we have to encapsule with the help of the micropipette directly on the seeds. Okay, then we will get these seeds are encapsulated by the sodium alginate. Okay, so then we have to transfer these seeds on the petri dish which is containing 0.3 m of the CaCl2. Okay, so then there is a formation of the embryoid, and we have to trap this embryoid in the 0.3 m of the CaCl2. And this procedure we have to repeat for a number of times to prepare the synthetic seed. Okay, lastly what we have to do, we have to dip those seeds in 0.5 that is a high concentration of the CaCl2, and this is the last stage, and then we will take these seeds and we will refrigerate it. Okay, so the artificial seed preparation is useful to those plants which do not produce the seeds during their life cycle. So by this we will get the synthetic seed. After this synthetic seed, we will get the formation of the roots and shoot system in those seeds. After getting the root and shoots, we will directly take it off, and then we will germinate, and then we will pot it in the pot. So this is the step of the preparation of the artificial seeds. So then why the alginate is chosen here instead of the agar medium? Okay, so the alginate hydrogels are frequently selected as the agar, as a agar is considered as the inferior to the alginate with respect to the long term storage. Okay, so here in alginate it helps in the long term storage, and this alginate chosen because it enhances the capsule formation and it protects the synthetic seeds against the mechanical injuries compared to the agar medium. So we will choose the alginate here. So then factors affecting the encapsulation is during the encapsulation it must not damage the embryo. Okay, so while injecting the this one alginate, it must not damage the embryos as the micropipette pointer is very sharp. So we have to carefully encapsulate it, and then the coating should be mild to protect the embryo. Okay, so the coating should be mild and it must be durable for the rough handling during the manufacture, storage and transportation and the planting. Okay, so the coating must contain all the essential growth materials such as the nutrients and the growth regulators, and then the formed synthetic seeds should be transplanted using the techniques. So we can't remove it from the hands and then we can't plant it directly. So we have to see that there is a aesthetic conditions in the process. Okay, and there are advantages like it is very easily handling, then short and long term storage capacity and genetic uniformity. So genetic uniformity means as we have chosen the somatic embryos, so the somatic embryos they are similar to the zygotic embryos. Okay, so there is a genetic uniformity in them. Then low cost quality plant materials are required by this process, and then it allows the transportation and exchange of the germplasm between the national and international laboratories. So these are the advantages we can see. And then the application, if we see, the production of the synthetic seeds facilitates the growth of the several plants that have low seed viability. Okay, so the production of the synthetic seeds, these facilitates the growth of several plants which are having low seed viability, then the plants which are having seedless fruits and poor germination rate, and also the plants which are dependent on the mycorrhizal fungal symbiosis for the germination, they can be produced with the help of the synthetic seeds. Okay, for the germination, then it is very useful when it comes to the genotype selection, the germplasm preservation and the in vitro propagation of the endangered, rare and commercially important plants. And it is also allowing the conservation of the plant species through the short and medium term preservation. So these are the few applications of the artificial seeds. I hope you understood well about the artificial seeds. Here you can see the petri plates of artificial seeds of coffee, pear, and citrus, also the papaya. So it will look like this. So these all are encapsulated. Okay, so here you can see the growth of the shoots or it may be the root. Okay, so I hope you guys understood well about the artificial seeds and also about the somatic embryogenesis. Thank you.